Well, good morning, everyone. Happy Valentine's Day. This is the morning version of our web videos. I'll try and do another one by this evening if technological issues don't arise. I had some issues last evening with the webcam, but hopefully this evening we can get another one of these online. Anyway, it's Valentine's Day. I wanted to show you a cool picture that was tweeted out from an astronaut up at the International Space Station this morning. This is a coral reef that is shaped like a heart. Very cool picture, and I posted that on my Facebook page. If you're viewing this video from a Twitter link and you're not a fan of me on Facebook, head over to my Facebook page and you'll find all sorts of cool stuff. Hit like and it'll show up in your feed. Let's move on to where we've been so far this month. We're about halfway through the month, of course, and here's a look at temperature anomalies across North America from the beginning of the month until now. An anomaly means the difference from average, and on this map, anywhere where we have oranges and yellows, that means it's been warmer than average so far this month. The blue colors indicate cooler than average temperatures for the first half of February. You can see there's been a cool pocket of air across central and eastern Canada down to about where we live across the Ohio and Mahoning valleys. Here in Youngstown, we're about 2 or 3 below the average for the month when you kind of average things all together for the first 13 or even 14 days of the month. It's been a little bit chillier than a typical February. Another pocket of cool out along the west coast, but it's been warm in much of Alaska and across British Columbia, western parts of Canada, and across the Plains states. Also, the South has had a pretty warm February compared to the average. Let's take a look at what we have going on today. Here's our surface map across the Midwest to orient you here. Here is Youngstown in Ohio. Out here we have an area of low pressure. This is an Alberta Clipper system that's going to start things in motion, some changes coming our way for later tonight into tomorrow and the weekend. Colder weather is coming. This Alberta Clipper system will continue diving south and east. We've got a warm front out ahead of it, and then hot on its heels, a cold front. Now, this warm front will usher in some mild temperatures for this afternoon. We'll get into the 40s in a lot of northeast Ohio and western PA by the end of the day today. But then the cold front moves through at about daybreak tomorrow, and then it's going to feel like midwinter again for tomorrow night heading into the weekend. Current temperatures as of about 10:30 this morning, showing nothing real extraordinary across the country. It's mild in Florida, of course. We've got 20s and 30s as we would expect in the Northeast. And behind that next Clipper system, it is turning pretty cold, single digits and teens. Pretty common in North Dakota and Minnesota. Chilly, but again, typical chill out west temperature-wise this morning. Radar looks like this. We'll start with a broad view of the national radar with rain down in Florida. It's warm, but it is wet across the Sunshine States. Up here across the Ohio Valley in the Northeast, we do have some precipitation showing up on the radar, but a lot of this is not reaching the ground. As we take a look at the Cleveland radar, a lot of this stuff west of Cleveland is what we call virga. It's precipitation falling out of the cloud, but then drying up before it hits the ground. So we don't expect anything to occur precipitation-wise until pretty late in the day today. In most of the region, it's going to take that long for the atmosphere to moisten up and allow that precipitation to reach the ground. But again, the radar looks a little worse than it actually is. The bark is worse than the bite this morning. Visible satellite shows cloud cover pretty widespread. We had a clear night, nice crescent moon last night, but clouds rolled in pretty quickly this morning, and these clouds will hang tough throughout the day today and right through tonight. In fact, it's a pretty cloudy forecast right through the first half of next week. Not too much in the way of sunshine. Here's that wind visualization map I like to show, showing the wind speed and direction across the entire country. It's windy out on the plains today. It's actually fairly breezy through the Midwest as well. As I zoom in, we've got our next front right in through here, and you can kind of tell where that is. The difference between a southwest wind and a northwest wind is right where the front is. So it's kind of right in through here on the backside of the front. That northwesterly wind ushers in all that cold air out of the Canadian prairies. And that's why temperatures here will be colder by Friday and Saturday. Let's take a look at some computer models over the next couple of days. Here comes our precipitation this evening. This is 7 p.m. this evening with very light shades of green across the area. That means, precipitation's not going to be all that heavy. We're talking about scattered showers. As we go through tonight and into tomorrow, the cold air pours in, and this will be snow shower activity showing up by tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow evening. Southern Appalachians could see a few inches worth of snow out of this, but for us, there'll be these hit or miss snow showers around up in the snow belts through the weekend. There could be a few inches worth of snow. Lake Geauga, Ashtabula counties, maybe northern Trumbull County. But for the rest of us, including Mahoning County, Columbiana County, and heading over into much of western PA, we could see the ground dusted a few times, and there may be a total of an inch when you add up all these snow showers between Friday and Sunday morning, but really no big deal. The bigger deal is the cold that's coming for the weekend. It's going to be a noticeable change. As we roll things forward to Sunday, the snow shower activity is still around for the morning on all four of these different computer models. We've got some green in the vicinity, which means there can be some snow showers. But by the end of the day, Sunday, I think as our trough of low pressure begins to pull away, the snow showers will fade away, and then it's actually going to warm up for a spell early next week. Warm enough for this next system to start as rain. Here's Tuesday morning at 7 a.m. May still be raining at this point, but cold air knocking on the door by 7 o'clock Tuesday morning, which means we may see a change over to snow during the course of next Tuesday. Focusing on the short term, though, I wanted to show you this kind of higher resolution computer model, valid this evening at about 8 o'clock. Shows a thin band of rain showers about to move into the Mahoning Valley at about 8 o'clock this evening. So if this computer model ends up being right, we could see a shower or two a couple of hours after sunset this evening. And then we go and look at the same model for tomorrow afternoon, mid-afternoon, and this shows a lot of these kind of dark brown or black colors across the region. That means clouds will be around. Not much in the way of precipitation showing up on this model. There could be some flurries falling out of these darker shades, these clouds, during the course of tomorrow afternoon. But again, the temperature will be the noticeable thing. It's going to be quite a bit chillier. Longer range temperatures. Well, this is another one of these anomaly charts. The zero line, this straight line here, is the average temperature. That's where we would expect to be during this time of the year. Anytime these lines go above that straight line, that means it's warmer than average. When you see the lines that are below the straight line, it's below average. And this chart takes us all the way out through the first couple of days of March. So this kind of gives us a hint as to what we can expect in the long range. Well, here's our little spike of warmth ahead of that next system early next week. So this will be Monday into Monday night. But notice behind that system, it will be cooler than average for a time during the middle of next week. And then at the end of next week, maybe one day where it warms up again. And then actually it looks kind of chilly again for next weekend. So the next 2 weekends are looking pretty cool. Beyond next weekend and at the very end of the month, temperatures should not vary too much from the average, maybe a little below average as we kick off the month of March. So we've got some ups and downs as we would expect as winter tries to hang on. Spring is starting to kind of creep into the southeastern U.S. and every day spring gets a little farther north, and the battle between winter and spring will continue to rage, and that means variations in the temperature will be pretty common across our neck of the woods. But I wanted to end on a positive note. Here's a chart showing the sunrises and sunsets all the way through the beginning of next week. Of course, at this time of the year, the sunrises are getting earlier. By early next week, the sun is up at 7:10. By the end of this weekend, a 6 o'clock sunrise. Been a long time since we've seen one of those. We're picking up about 2.5 minutes of daylight per day. So the length of our day is approaching 11 hours. So, of course, this will continue to accelerate as we head through March. But certainly the sun is noticeably stronger now than it was back in the very heart of winter at the end of December and early on in January. So that's a look at things here at midday on this Valentine's Day. Hope you have a great day, and join Jess at noon on 21 News Midday, and I'll be on tonight at 6 and 11. Have a great day.